Welcome back. You're still watching Newsfeed PM, the late edition. Let's get into this discussion now. So 67 boys have been arrested, or rather rescued, let me correct that, rescued in the Northwest as the province's initiation coordinating committee shuts down 14 illegal initiation schools. This took place during compliance monitoring of initiation schools across the province. The PICC says it received calls from parents and the police over missing young boys believed to have been abducted by the people running these illegal schools. The committee has since intensified its inspection ahead of the start of the initiation season this weekend. So over 100 schools have been approved to operate in 3 districts across the Northwest. The PICC has warned against those trying to bypass regulatory requirements. It says it will continue to monitor the schools until the close of the initiation season. Well, for more on this, we are joined by the Northwest Provincial Initiation Coordination Committee's Tumiso Keoagile and Prince Mampuru Sekwati from Bapedi Kingdom in Limpopo. Gentlemen, a good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. This is such an incredibly important discussion as we get into the initiation season. And so, Mr. Keoagile, I think I'll let you go first. Just how it was that you were able to come across these these 14 illegal initiation schools, the stories and complaints that you were hearing from parents that raised the issue with you.
Good evening, Naledi, and to your viewers. Look, it has been quite a terrible journey since the beginning of the season. We have embarked as a PICC on monitoring of initiation schools across the province, and we then managed to come across those that would not have applied in terms of the law. Remember, the law requires that the initiation principals must first of all, before they can go and open initiation schools, they must first apply for permits. So those initiation schools we have managed to close are mainly in the region of Bojanala and here in Naledi Moleo, where I am at, quite a number of them in the Bojanala district. So ordinarily, those ones that would not have gotten a permit, and essentially we then managed to close them down.
Yeah, I want to actually bring in another province here, and we are joined by Prince Siguati. Thank you so much for joining us. Talk to us about what the situation looks like in Limpopo as we get into this initiation season, some of the big concerns that your own royal house would raise.
Evening to yourself and your viewers. Up to so far, there are no cases of illegal initiation schools in Limpopo. So far, the report that we get from government at this current initiation season, there's nothing reported so far. I'm sure you are aware. Limpopo has been excelling in terms of this practice. We've been practicing it for years. We've been having less casualties for years. And one of the reasons why we were able to achieve this as a province is because our initiation schools are actually, they're performed or rather practiced by our traditional leaders, which are then responsible for our kids. The only, loophole that is there at this current moment is the act that is currently, that's currently regulating traditional, initiation schools, the Customary Initiation Act 2 of 2001, that sort of opens an avenue for people who are not traditional leaders to be able to obtain licenses to perform this practice. That on its own is opening a loophole in which, you find scavengers waiting to make money out of this practice.
Yeah.
opening initiation schools for profit making, in which, I mean, this practice itself is not a money-making scheme. The purpose of the practice is to preserve culture, promote our culture, and so there's that loophole. But so far, we're doing well as a province. We've been doing well throughout the years. I mean, last year alone, Sekhukhune recorded about 37,000 initiates who came back from the mountains. I'm talking Sekhukhune alone in the whole province. So we've been doing well so far.
Okay. And the reason why we brought both the gentlemen in is because there is something perhaps to talk about, what each of us can learn from practices in the next province. And so, Mr. Keoagile, you hear there Prince Siguati saying, part of the success has been to centralize initiation schools around the, I suppose, the leadership of traditional leadership. Is that an opportunity that can be explored in the Northwest, where you do have some cases, and of course, traditional leaders sprinkled in various parts of the province that perhaps can help centralize this rite of passage?
Yeah, quite. Absolutely, that's what the practice that we have been implying. Look, the act itself allows us to have an opportunity of traditional leaders to take part in terms of screening of the applications. Remember, before the applications, they could reach our offices. They first need to pass through the offices of traditional leaders, who would then screen them really and scrutinize them in terms of whether the applicants are fit for pupils. Fit for pupils, and they are well experienced, so that they are able to conduct or open a thoroughly run initiation school. So they first of all pass there, and they reach our offices, and we then may scrutinize them further, and to make a final approval.
Yeah.
So really, our traditional leaders decide they do take part, but they said dinawa and our province really has got one district which does not necessarily have traditional leaders, and it's predominantly an area run by the municipalities where we do not have traditional leaders. So there are only 3 districts of Dr. Ruth and Bojanala and Newzroom, where we find the traditional leaders who are really trying their level best to try to mitigate and try to cap the bogus principals to conduct bogus initiation schools. And over and above that, as a PICC, we try our level best also to reach out to our communities prior to the season, in terms of workshopping them about the provisions in the CIA, or Customary Initiation Act, as to what is required whenever one wants to open initiation school. So it's not a process that we start after or during the season. It's a process that we would have started it even prior to the season, in trying to make an awareness
absolutely
to our communities. Yes.
And I think that when you talk about communities, perhaps that's where I'll leave it. Prince Siguati, your final thoughts on just the importance of communities in keeping a close eye on what's happening with their boys, and knowing exactly where to go, because with the PICC, the success of them being able to rescue these 67 young boys is that the community came and spoke out.
Yeah, I think one important thing is really for the communities to know what the law says in terms of traditional initiation schools. The one thing that one wants to emphasize is the misconception that is there about this practice, where people have this wrong conception, mind that this practice is a circumcision school. There's actually a difference between the two. There's a difference between circumcision and initiation school. Now, this practice is initiation school, is not a circumcision school. And the law states very clearly what happens and what must be done. For example, people think when you're going to initiation school, you are going to be subjected to abuse, you're going to be subjected to beating, you are going to be subjected to this hard life that is out there, which from where I'm seated, is actually a wrong misconception.
Yeah.
That is not what the practice is meant for. And that's what our people must know. Our
Yeah.
people must know that when a child is exposed to abuse or subjected to abuse at an initiation school, they can actually report the matter to relevant authorities. I mean, part of the structures that are regulating this practice, I'm sure you're aware, the NPA sits in the structure at the national level and at the provincial level, together with the SAPS. So our community needs to know that. They need to know the rights of these initiates. Part of the other problem that has been there throughout the years is the issue of abduction and rather, let me say, kidnapping.
Right.
Because you can't forcefully take a person to initiation school.
Yeah,
It's not
especially without the
everybody
consent.
and everybody
Yeah.
who their culture allows them to go to initiation
Yeah,
school. And the act is
especially
very clear.
where parents have not been consulted. Gentlemen, I do have to leave it there, but thank you so much for this.
The act is very clear.
Yeah.
The act is very clear that in terms of a minor child that is below the ages of 18, a parent has to give consent.
Absolutely.
And
Right. Prince Sekwati, I need to step in.
Clear.
Yeah. I need to step in.
Yeah,
Apologies,
we're
I'm out
very
of time.
clear.
I am
If a
out of
child
time, but
comes
thank
to
you so much
initiation
for speaking to us. I apologize for needing to step in there because we are out of time. It's so difficult as well to stop a prince. But Prince Mampuru Siguati there from the Bapedi Kingdom in Limpopo. Thank you as well to Mr. Tumiso Keoagile of the Provincial Initiation Coordination Committee in the Northwest, having a chat with us just before initiation season begins. Well, let's take a short break. More news on the other side.